March. Today is February 29th, so I thought it'd be a great time to recap and reset for the upcoming month. So I will be going through my budget for the month of February, as well as reviewing February, goals I've met, things that I need to improve on. Honestly, February was kind of a difficult month for me, and honestly I think it's because it's my first time experiencing a true winter. I moved from Florida to Chicago, and it's my first time experiencing prolonged time period without a lot of sun and it being cold and having to be inside a lot more, which is very different from Orlando, that it was always warm and we had just a couple of days of cold, and even then it wasn't something that would keep you inside, and there definitely wasn't snow. So I did hit a bit of a slump, but even so I still think it's good to review the month and celebrate your accomplishments, even if they weren't what you wanted them to be. I think just bullying yourself is not helpful, but to cheer yourself on and say, hey, even though I was going through all this, I was still able to reach some of my goals or just get closer to reaching my goals. So let's start with our budget. So reviewing my budget is honestly one of the best ways I've been able to save money. Using a paper budget, at least for me, helps me feel accountable for my spending. And this month I was able to be $259.23 above my spending goal, so I saved that much. Overall, with all of my expenses and savings, I have $1,818.32 left over. Setting up for next month, I have noticed that I am not saving enough, so I have increased my savings amount for each month, and I think it's really important to review and make sure that you're saving as much as possible, especially if you're finding that you're within your budget each month. So as I mentioned earlier, I had a bit of a slump in February and felt like I didn't accomplish much, but reviewing this, I can see I accomplished so much, including some things I think are important to highlight. We saw that February I did have some highlights, including gaining 20 new followers, uploading 3 videos and 1 short. One of my short videos got over 3,000 views and a lot of likes, which is fantastic for my very small channel. I didn't hit all the goals that I wanted to, but that's all right. Nobody's perfect. So I just kind of wanted to go over some of my goals for the upcoming month, and I have them written down here. Hold on. And these all go towards my overall goals that I created at the beginning of the year. So number 1 is to restart Italian lessons. I was taking Italian lessons last year, and then after Darcy died, like a lot of things, I just kind of fell off of that routine. So I think I might restart the ones I was taking virtually, or find a school nearby if they're not too expensive. And if any of those options work out, I can always continue to study on my own. I have a lot of workbooks and resources here that I can use. And I'm already at, I'm not a beginner, so it won't be that difficult to work on my own until I can find an instructor. Number 2 is to continue my routine. So you saw in one of my previous videos, I have an evening routine. Well, I've updated my daily routine. So starting the day with working out has been really helpful, especially now that our days are longer. I just feel like more motivated. So I wake up, I work out, and then I do my work day, and then I have an evening to do my cleaning routine. So I want to keep that up. And something else that probably contributed to my slump is that I'm still making friends here. I have one friend and her husband, we knew them from Orlando, but you know, they're busy, they have things they do, so I don't always get to hang out with her. So I think it's really important that I establish some friendships here. So I rejoined Bumble BFF, which I've had good luck with in the past. I met two of my very good friends on Bumble BFF. So my goal for March is to meet one new friend, and that could be through Bumble BFF, it could be through the Italian lessons, or it could even be through volunteering, or whatever else happens. So those are my goals. Oh, my last goal that I ended up adding is that when I was going through my budget, I see that I am not saving enough. So I haven't increased my amount of savings because I am under my expense goal. So that means I can actually save more. So that's going to be another goal, financial goal, is to save more. And I put my savings into my investment account. No, it's not investment, my high yield savings account. So that's another goal, is to put more money into my savings. So the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video is my reading. So how cute is this cup here so far? So I've read 7 books since the start of the year, and 3 of those books were in February. And I wanted to talk about the books that I read. So the first book that I read was, I think it was Ask for Andrea. Hi, this is Oni, who's editing this video, and I mentioned the wrong book. So I read Ask for Andrea in January. The book that I read this month was The Teacher, and I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was entertaining, and that's the only reason I gave it 4 stars. I feel like parts of it were not badly written, but let's just say if the police were real in this story, they would have done a very bad job. But it was super entertaining, so that's why I got a 4 stars review from me. The next book I read is the first book in the ACOTAR series. So I read A Court of, what is it, Thorns and Roses, and I think I gave it a 3-star. I thought it was a little too long, and it's clearly a retelling of the original Beauty and the Beast, the French version. I do love the world building. So the whole world about the Fae and the High Fae and the different courts I thought was really great. I thought the main character, Freya, she's okay. Yeah, I do like that she was really strong. I just think that sometimes she just seemed annoyed, and I didn't understand the reason, at least in the beginning. I do like the ending was satisfying. Rhysand, I know that's who everyone loses their mind for. I thought he was cool, but he also seemed really cruel. Yeah, I think I am going to continue to the next book, but I'm not going to buy it. So that book I did buy on my Kindle because I had some digital, rewards that I could use. But the next one I'm just going to borrow from the library digitally. And the last book I read for the month of February was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Yeah, and I think that book is just, as you may have seen in my reading blog, just good storytelling. It's a modern story. I do like how it's about video game development because I like playing video games and I like seeing that side of it, but also the reference to early 90s video games, and I remember playing those when I was a kid. I would say this was a 4-star read for me until the second to last chapter, and if you've read it, you might know why. It just really took me out of the whole story, but otherwise it was an enjoyable story. There were some really sad parts and some frustrating parts, that second to last chapter. So for the month of March, I want to continue reading books that have been on my list. Right now, I am reading His and Hers by Alice Feeney. She wrote Rock, Paper, Scissors, I think that's what it's called, and I really liked that story, so I'm going to read this one. And I'm also thinking of reading A Little Life. I have it downloaded, so I think I'm going to read that one. And then one nonfiction book, because my goal was to read one nonfiction book a month, and I haven't read a single one. I have been reading some summaries through this app that I'm using, And I find that really helpful because sometimes with nonfiction you can kind of get lost in all the details, and those summaries are really helpful to kind of just get to the point. But there are some nonfiction books that I have downloaded that I would like to read this year. And that's the recap for February and the goals for March. And I also wanted to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Like, honestly, I started the year with 30 subscribers and now I have 77. And I'm really appreciative because for some reason my videos just don't get pushed out through the algorithm. So if you see this video, just go ahead and like and comment, because that really does help the YouTube algorithm recognize my videos and see that people are watching them. But otherwise, I really just do this for fun, and reset videos, routine videos really just help me stay motivated and on track. So I get a lot of benefits from them as well. But yeah, if this is your first time watching, if you want to go ahead and subscribe, that would be awesome. And if you're a return viewer, just thanks for being here.